Good morning, good day, good evening, good time of the day, and welcome to our Boring Enterprise Nerds Nerdcast. I myself, Elena Perfileva, as usual, my partner Paul Moderman. So we have gathered today to talk about SAP Developer Survey results that were surprisingly published the same year when the survey was ran, which was not the case last year. So we do have some thoughts on this, and I think not just about the survey results, but about maybe state of the developer community in general. All right. So Paul, let's just dig into the results, and
Yeah.
I'm sure we all have some hot takes on this.
Yeah, and we're gonna do this, by the way. This is like we have not scripted this. This is our like off the dome or pre-read thoughts here. And we're just gonna see I will be as surprised as you are by what Yelena says about this stuff. We have not rehearsed this or discussed this up front. So this is the 2026 report, which, as Yelena mentioned, very much better timing than the previous one in terms of nearness to the survey itself.
Yeah.
Um, I note first of all that this is very good. I like that up front they give you these like big numbers in terms of like it's easy to see the numbers, right?
Yeah.
In some of the previous versions, you'd be like, but how many people responded? It wasn't always clear from
Yeah.
that. So
Mm.
this is good. I mean, maybe let's just get it out of the way here, or
Yeah.
maybe, I mean, we'll come back to it too, I'm sure, but like, this is like AI has arrived and is dramatically changing how developers work. This is like the yes, yes, of course, yes, of course kind of note out of this whole thing. Um, I am actually surprised where so it says, but
Mm.
according to the survey, uh, use of AI on production SAP projects is up 10% from last year. I'm shocked that it's as low as 10
Mm.
myself because the key, I think some of the key moments in making AI work on production SAP projects happened in the later part of 2025.
Mm.
And a lot of people woke up to a lot of things, especially the software development piece, but I mean even some other things too. In those moments that I would have just kind of expected more than 10%. But maybe I'm just over or under reading how fast SAP teams and community can move against
Yeah.
broad changes in technology, right?
And yeah, just one note from me. Sometimes I feel maybe the purely verbiage of the survey maybe either it's like slightly confusing to developers, or maybe SAP is trying, how in legal dramas, like on TV shows, like objection, like leading the
Leading the
witness, or
witness.
this.
Yeah.
I think SAP might be doing something like this with the survey, because I actually was one of the people who at least started taking the survey. I don't remember if I managed to finish it, but I'll speak to that later. Like, note the specific, like how it's phrasing here, like use of AI, like AI broad term rather, on production SAP projects. Like as a
Yeah.
developer, to me it's like, okay, I use like Gen AI tools to create some utility ABAP report. Totally. Is this production? I don't know. This
Yeah.
report doesn't really go to production. So
Yeah.
that may be kind of little bit too many like asterisks and parentheses and
Yeah.
disclaimers. So I
That's
I
true.
I don't know how this statistics really can be interpreted. So yeah, but
And
like
that's
yeah,
that's
let's
actually that's actually a fantastic point too, because if I was to interpret this in the other way,
yeah,
which is like AI is buried inside the thing you're delivering to your internal customer or external customer, then 32% would be enormous, would
yeah,
be huge.
yeah,
Because most
exactly.
stuff is like still forms on top of tables
Yeah,
to like enter
yeah,
stuff, you know.
yeah,
So that would be huge if that was the case.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess we should also say too, this is like as scientific as you can be for like um, anonymous and voluntary responses.
Yeah.
right? Because like I don't know exactly how many actually people there are out there who do SAP Dev work in some flavor of their job, but it's a lot more than 589 by like
Yeah.
four or five, by like four orders of
Magnitude
magnitude
of
potentially.
orders. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there have been some numbers floating around, and I don't know how credible that is. Like 3 million or something. I
Yeah.
seriously doubt it's 3 million, but
Yeah.
maybe like one or hundreds of thousands. That's quite believable. So it's quite a small part, I would say, of the community, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that statistic is shared here, or if it was even part of the question this year in the pre. So I think when this survey started, there was no question like, who are you working for? And I think we were one of the people who raised some suspicions that this may be just heavily filled in by SAP's own employees,
Mm,
because there were some signals that's like, that doesn't seem like something like ABAP developer in the wild would say,
yeah.
or would how they would use it.
Yeah.
So I think next year after that, SAP actually disclosed that information, which was super useful to me, because ABAPers working at SAP or working at companies that creates, let's say, some kind of SAP adjacent product, like Vstex, Vertex, whatever,
Yeah.
those companies do, and developers working at for SAP customers, they would have, I think, quite different takes on this. So,
Yeah.
we'll see if it's maybe comes up in this survey.
Yeah. That's true.
There is, oh, there you go. So actually looking at it, so yeah,
Yeah.
so it doesn't, yeah, SAP employees 13%. So
Yeah.
it's that is I mean, that is, I think, good probably percentage. So not too
Yeah, that is
many.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
partners may be too heavy, but that's so that seems reasonable composition to me. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it's good.
I am curious about this partner thing, like what that actually
Yeah,
means.
because yeah, different partners.
Yeah. Like there's like there are as many different ways to be an SAP partner as there
Yeah,
are SAP partners. So
yeah,
it's pretty like this could go all the way from like a Sarala who makes an add-on to
yeah.
like Accenture who just is in general a
Yeah, yeah,
partner,
like, or
right? So
IBM, who is
yeah.
partner and customer,
Yeah, in like a
and so
million
is
different
Accenture
ways.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very
Yeah.
interesting.
So this is one of the things
Oh
from
man.
yeah, from last year too, where last I took a note of this from the one last year just because I was like I was curious about this too. Last year, this age distribution chart,
Mm,
the commentary from SAP or from these survey people was uh that that this chart as of last year indicated a gap in hiring younger employees
mm,
to cover the normal aging of the community
mm,
or a loss of qualified younger staff.
yeah.
And if this, well, here, I can maybe I can just bring this up from last year's survey too. Just let me give me a second here, because this also might be a good indicator, I think, too, for people who look at these things to also see, like, boy, this is it's interesting to see how much you could or could not
Mm,
like look at these things, right? So this is the distribution as of the survey last year.
mm.
So like you see that there's like this
Yeah, it goes
like
back another year.
you've got these
Yeah,
sort of cliffs on the younger side
yeah,
and then this like stability here. Over here on this one, yeah, there's a cliff on the 35 to 44 that doesn't really appear here. Well,
yeah.
maybe it kind of does here.
I
But
yeah.
anyway,
I,
so it's just
so
yeah.
looking at last year, I'm curious what happened in 2021 that made like younger people to be like more interested versus drop in 2022.
Yeah.
Although you can see younger population clearly small percentage below 10. So,
Yeah.
but looking at like this year, there is clear trend that people kind of maybe slightly become interested in SAP, and then they go like, hell no, and then only old guard remains, which probably not people who come back to it in their 40s, but rather people like us who have been just doing this for 20 years
Yeah.
already, and just keep doing this because, I mean, it pays the bill. So it's a decent decent jobs, like,
Yeah. I think
another
in
day, another
general,
dollar.
I think in general the read I can take from this, I think, is that if the bars go down over the years within a particular age cohort,
Yeah.
that is either people are leaving entirely or
Yeah.
just aging into the next cohort. And if the
Yeah.
bars go up on the next cohort,
Yeah.
it kind of seems like they're aging into the next cohort,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's true.
in this case, the bucket, by the way, I just joined this bucket this year. I just turned 45 in April. So I just got to the like almost elderly bucket
Yeah. And
here.
I joined the next one. So that's it's funny.
We're all changing demographics here in our
Moving to different buckets,
this is the
disrupting the
this is now the
species.
this is now the boring enterprise nerds portion of the chart over here.
This is now the cool side of the island. So it's like move over.
But it does I
Uh,
think it still kind of does the comment from this year's survey like it matches the spirit of last year's. The
yeah.
increases in the oldest buckets warrant further investigation
Yeah.
for hiring or retention.
What is there to investigate? It is
Yeah.
not very
I mean,
appealing to hip and coming up developers.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
take a clue. So uh,
Yeah. It's not surprising.
to
Yeah.
to no surprise of
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
anyone.
exactly.
So yeah,
Um,
right.
this one, okay, I
Mm,
made a note about this last on last year's stuff, and actually, what I see now is like the where do you work in the workplace, home office, corporate, whatever. Like we've kind of stabilized a little bit,
yeah,
right? At
yeah.
least from the people like the like we're kind of at now roughly 50% of people work from home all the time,
Mm,
and somewhere north of 25% people work from a corporate work office a majority of the time.
yeah.
Uh, and I think, I mean, at least in what we do in our in the SAP part of our jobs, maybe you and I work different jobs with sort of the surrounding pieces, but like in the SAP part of our jobs, like it's pretty clear to me that like for most people in most roles,
Hmm.
home works pretty well,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
and that's just kind of stayed the case there.
Yep.
I can also see like there are other companies or other worlds where this is different and maybe you need to be more or less in the workplace too. That totally makes sense. But like when it's like relatively enterprise stuff, that's mostly kind of these dumb meetings where even if you were in the
Yeah.
office, you'd still be on a Teams meeting with people across the globe anyway. Like
Yeah.
let's just acknowledge that home office works in our kinds of roles for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Okay, this is where we start to see some like differences a little
Mm,
bit, or this is the obvious bucket for this survey in my view, right?
mm-hmm.
This is the one where like last year, of course, this was part of the survey, but I mean, like I said, the explosion stuff is different, right? So if we look at the same thing was in the previous year's survey, um, but it was buried a bit lower, if I remember. The Gen AI using Gen AI bucket. I thought there was a wheel. Yeah, okay.
There is.
Here.
Yeah.
This is it. So we go from 38% haven't explored it to 23%. So 15% drop and we haven't explored it.
Yeah.
For exploring but not day to day, that's relatively the same percentage wise.
Mm,
Probably had some drift in who's in and out of that thing. But so it's 34% last year, 39% this year. So an uptick in who's exploring. Active use is 32 this year, and active use is 21 last
yeah.
year. So clearly the trend is, as they say above, it's growing. As the Kool-Aid drinker in the crowd, all I want to say is like, you people who aren't actively using it, what are you doing? Like, stop being that way and use it. But I mean, that's just me, the
Yeah. But
being the way I am. Yeah.
and again, like phrasing, it's like your team's current use.
Yeah.
Why are you asking like for the whole team? And what even is a team? Like I don't have a team at all, so what would I respond to that? You should just ask like what is your use, or just ask a person about what they can speak for. So yeah, I am slightly surprised someone have not like explored at all, because I'm not cutting edge person at all, but I've already looked at it
Yeah.
I mean, why not? I mean,
Yeah.
just for your, just see what it's good for. So yeah, we have not explored buckets. That seems suspiciously high,
Yeah.
and I don't know again if people were kind of thrown off by phrasing here and were speaking more like, oh, I'm the cutting edge person in my team, so I'm using, but other like
Yeah.
old foggies in my team they are not. So maybe there is some hidden meaning behind this, but a
Yeah.
bit
That's a good
strange.
point.
Seems a bit too low. So
Also, even here too is interesting is like you said, the
yeah,
wording of things, right? The the choice of examples here is also
Leading the
instructive,
witness.
right?
Yes.
Because like I don't see Claude Code anywhere on here, and Claude Code
Yeah.
is like
Yeah. Or
better than
like
all of these put together.
ChatGPT.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So a lot of that stuff. Um, effectiveness
Mm.
for Gen AI stuff. I wish the picture was bigger. Maybe we can blow this out a little bit. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So this is about the effectiveness of Gen AI tools. Um, 70% saying profound positive impact.
Mm.
To me, that's uh, uh, like of the folks who use them, they see the benefit,
Yeah. It's like
right?
sound
Yeah,
endorsement. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So if anything, this to me indicates at least that for the folks who are
Yeah.
in this part right here,
Like, what
it
is wrong
like
with you?
it warrants like this
Yeah.
survey at least, or maybe this video about the survey, right?
Yeah.
Should like it should point you in the direction of like take a look.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even if for you it's not the magic pill you think it should be.
Yeah.
Like I totally grant you that. Like there is the possibility at least that people see the benefit in their own personal work. And that too kind of I'm so sorry. I could just talk about this for ages. But when you called this out, you were right to call this out. The team's current use of this stuff, some people I did a story about this in the last nerd letter, is that like these tools are so powerful that if you're waiting for your team to sort of or your corporation to sort of bless you with like their approach to this stuff, that's just the wrong way. Like just let people use Claude or let people
Yeah.
use ChatGPT if you can, right? Everyone has to do their compliance stuff. I totally get it. But like don't don't sit around and try to reinvent this stuff for your world. Just get the powerful tools into the hands of the hoi polloi and let
Mm.
them do that because they will accelerate their own work. They will accelerate their own productivity with the things that they want to do rather than like some enterprise team trying to like bless them from on high with the right approach to their world.
Yeah.
These tools are different. They're
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
than this
And
stuff.
yeah, and what that other chart shows, it's essentially it's what like 98% success rate for those who tried. So
Yeah.
it's a huge huge amount, 97, so minus 3%.
Yeah.
So that's a huge success rate. It's like unusual for anything. I mean, you will it's better than 9 out of 10 dentists
Yeah.
recommending something. So I don't know, it seems like a no-brainer if someone have not tried at all. And guys, you don't need to wait for anything. You can just start with very basic openly accessible tools
Yeah.
because that can be very good first step. And I know some people are like, oh, I tried to ask like ChatGPT to write me an ABAP report and it didn't know the correct, like how to call some puppy correctly or something like that. Yeah, I mean, sure, it's not gonna know this out of the box unless you set up some, I don't know, MCP or whatever.
Yeah.
However, as a first step, I think it's fine. You can start there. It's
Yeah.
it's not it's not a destination. It's just like first
Yeah.
exploration. It can bang out really, I mean, decent ALV report or
Yeah.
something like utility program where you have very clear definition. Or I've
Yeah.
even given it like, okay, it doesn't know function module parameters. Okay, well, here is function module for you. It's not difficult for me to copy paste. And you can,
Yeah.
honestly, what blew me away, you can even take screenshot of
Yeah.
like import text for screen and there
Yeah.
you go, bro, figure it out. So and then I mean it just saves you money typing stupid
Oh my
stuff.
God.
That's to me already is a big saving because I don't write boilerplate stuff anymore, like at all. Even if it's something very short, it's just I don't want to be bothered just typing
Yeah.
stupid stuff. So I just give it to any tool I can get my hands on, you
Yeah.
know.
This is using Gen AI in production applications again, kind of recall back to a little
Yeah,
bit to what we talked about above there. Yeah.
yeah,
So, take your take your definition with a grain of salt there. Okay, so this is interesting. This is a little bit more granular, I think, than they did last year with this stuff, like breaking it up by life cycle
yeah.
phases. Um, and I would say, let's see, I'm looking for, I think implementation might be the equivalent of like, yep, write me the ALV report essentially
Mm,
thing I think here. I think even because we have like a black, very useful, and like a
yeah.
grayish, somewhat
Somewhat
useful,
useful. Yeah.
and the somewhat useful gets out to 75% when you talk about
Mm,
documentation. That makes complete sense. They're language models.
yeah.
Like documentation is part of their jam there.
Yeah.
Um, but I would expect to see these black things just dramatically continue to improve
Yeah.
or get bigger as
Yeah.
time goes on.
Yeah, the distribution is kind of a no-brainer in
Yeah.
documentation. Duh. I mean, no shit, code quality as
Yeah.
well. It's very good at
Yeah.
that's what I really like because it can spot problems much easier than I can.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even like typos in repeatable code, so it spots it right away. It
Yep.
even a couple of times it fixed an error that I didn't notice in the original chunk of code
Yeah.
that I had. Like, oh shit, like there is a typo there.
Yeah.
So and good luck finding this with
Yep.
even with all your unit tests, etc. And so this is where I have my comment about the survey itself. So
Yeah.
as I said, I at least I attempted the survey. And the reason why I don't remember if I actually finished this, because I think SAP went a little bit overboard with these super detailed questions. So
Mm.
when you were taking survey, there was no indication how far are you, and you get hit
Oh.
with the wall of options. So this question, it was like all the array of what those are like radio button
Oh,
combo
sure.
with
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
there was a line, and you had to go through each single one of them and click something. What happens in this case is people get fatigued very easily. So, like for example, here I don't even know what life cycle means. So I'm like sitting there, I don't know what to answer here. I think either of those questions should have been made optional somewhere, or maybe should not have been so intense, or survey should have been
Yeah.
shorter, because
Yeah.
by the question number, I think three or so, where I have already clicked like 30 times, I was like, screw it, and just bang, bang, bang in the middle just to get through it and to see if there is any questions that I can actually intelligently answer. It's like some of them were like, don't care, not relevant to me at all, but there was no way to skip it. So you were forced to provide an answer that
Oh,
probably
yeah.
skewing their stats right now. So
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Oh yeah, and here's the comment too. Yeah. Implementation is the coding thing. So yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um, the tools that people use. Oh, these poor people who get stuck with Microsoft Copilot. This is not
Oh
GitHub
man.
Copilot. That's
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Like, like these people, whoever's in this bucket, like, I just want to apologize to
Yeah.
you, even though I have
Yeah.
no control of this. Like, using, being forced to use Microsoft Copilot to help you do development stuff has got to suck.
Oh
And yet
man.
it probably speaks to it's still useful because 25% of these people are still using that tool
I don't know.
to do
Yeah.
something or have used it as one of the tools, right? Um, Joule for developers is up here, 33%. I mean, kudos to SAP for selling that
Mm.
stuff, like I mean, I think our opinions of that have been pretty clear over the last however long, but like it's near the top of the list for people who have tried stuff. Um, yeah. And I would be curious about because I think this question once again back to the questions. Which tools did you use is one question. What I don't know is which ones stuck,
Yeah.
right? Because I bet you many people, well, clearly by these numbers, many people tried more than one tool over the
Yeah.
course of the
Yeah, for
year,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Um, which if you so for example, Claude Code. If you tried Claude Code, how
Mm.
much did you like it? Did
Yeah.
it stick? Did
Yeah.
you prefer it? Because I can imagine that not everybody necessarily in the course of this survey, even, I mean, has probably heard of Cloud Code versus GitHub Copilot.
Yeah.
GitHub Copilot just has more eyeballs on it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
ChatGPT has more eyeballs on it, right? So those things are in the mix. How are they faring when they go head to head with each other?
Yeah.
Is a very curious thing I would love to know.
Is that runtime LLM
This is
interaction? It's a very weird question to be honest, because I was looking like what? Like I don't even know what to say to be honest.
this is
It's very
yeah,
SAP phrasing, so yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
This to me is like, did you make a Fiori app that has a little box that lets you summarize the work order, right?
Hmm.
That's the To me that's a runtime LLM kind of thing, right? So
Hmm.
in this case, did your architecture include runtime? Relatively small. Again, I don't know how this maps out. Is this
Yeah.
sum to
I I
100?
I bet most
This
people
might
looked at
sum to
these questions the
100.
same way and could not understand what
Yeah,
the
okay.
hell is this about. So I think,
GPT is kind of at the top there. That kind of makes sense. Yeah.
and this is again SAP digging for something, clearly fishing for a specific, super duper specific information here. Maybe just don't do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just ask more clear questions. So
Yeah.
yeah, I honestly I don't know what those answers could mean to anyone.
Here's the one where it's like this question is about which tools did you use to write
Yeah,
code,
right, code
right? So in
specifically.
this case, Claude Code climbs up a little bit
Yeah,
in the stack.
yeah,
Joule for developers still kind of stays in its 31 to 33% range. Um, yeah. So a relatively smaller set of tools, but it kind of shakes out the same order roughly
yeah,
as the other
yeah.
ones there. Here's an overall one. I'm currently using one or more Gen AI tools in my day-to-day work. Yes, 75%.
Mm.
That's that's pretty pretty baller right there for the Gen AI tools. I'm able to perform my job more quickly.
It's kind of,
This is a
I don't know, repetitive somewhat.
Yeah,
But
but this
yeah,
is the same idea. Yeah, this is
yeah.
I sort of I kind of wish this was a different visualization of this, but yeah.
Yeah, it seems like should have
Um,
been a pie chart.
I think this one. So this is the one which is the tools give me the correct
First try.
outcome on the first try. I'd be curious to know what first try means,
Yeah.
right? And I think as we see agentic style development and
Mm.
processes come into play, the value of this question might drop a bit, right?
Mm.
So for as an example, I'm not going to say this as a show. I'm just going to say the company I work at, Nova, we produce an agentic AI thing, and we sort of don't even care whether the first try is correct. We care whether the last try is correct,
Mm.
right? Because even as a human developer, like my first try is rarely correct. Like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
just like type, compile, and go to bed. Like
Yeah.
it's like I gotta check my stuff along the way.
Yeah.
That's what an agentic style development framework will do for you. In which case, syntactically correct first try with no checks, well, you're not holding it right if you're doing that.
Yeah.
So it's just there's nuance here. There's nuance here too.
And I want to go up a little bit to the question new
Oh yeah.
capabilities with Gen AI. This seems kind of a little bit I don't know. I don't know who are these people who answered the survey because at least currently for me, I don't really even try to make it do something that I cannot. I use it
Hmm.
mostly to do what I can, but just do it faster or do it so that I don't have to do like super easy
Right.
tasks. If you move into territory where you're using the tools to do something that you have like no clue about, I think there is certain danger maybe associated with it.
Mm.
And I'm kind of scratching my head a little bit what those people actually meant when they answer this. Maybe because, like, for example, oh, I could not write like 500 reports in one day before, which is, yeah, that's true,
I
just
mean,
purely
true.
speed.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like a matter of knowledge or expertise. It's a matter
Yeah.
of just physical capacity. But if it's like I have no idea how to write ABAP and now I can, well, you still have no idea how to tell whether it's good ABAP or not.
Yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
where my concern usually comes from. It's like
Yeah.
it's great, and again, if you use it as, let's say, experimentation for some kind of low risk environment, like personally, like I
Yeah.
don't care if it's like good stuff. I don't care. I
Yeah.
mean, there is no risk for me. But
Yeah.
if you try to do that in um, more like environment that's supposed to go to production eventually, there definitely, I hope there are some kind of guardrails in place so that
Yeah.
customers don't end with very stupid ABAP stuff. So,
I
or
would
or
say,
or other SAP related. So
yeah, I would say that I am very similar to you in that like if I'm doing something that's going to go to production in some way,
yeah,
then I'm not going to do things that I would never have been able to
yeah,
do. I will
yeah,
do something where like I don't know what the code is going to look like, but that I have the ability to review it when it's done
yeah,
with the
yeah,
code, right?
exactly.
Exactly like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But like if I'm doing something just like you said, if I'm doing something that's like just a crazy harebrained experiment for myself, it could write it in Haskell for all I care. I don't
yeah,
like that's not why I'm doing it, you know?
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. So I think we just crossed the threshold out of the Gen AI stuff so we can get back to the
Yeah,
to other
finally.
business. So, man, so long. So this is the where are you question.
Mm,
And to me, I was thinking about this in terms of where things lie with this stuff.
yeah.
And I have to say that for like my gut is that 52 respondents from India out of a total of 500 and something or other that was in the count at the head of the
Mm.
top of the thing. To me, it's honestly strange that only 10% of the respondents come from India.
Yeah, and these
You
numbers, I
know?
mean, they don't even align with. So that was
So
probably optional question
it must have been optional.
to
Yeah.
which,
Oh,
yeah,
that makes
people,
sense.
because
Yeah.
honestly, real world distribution is probably like percentage wise, because in India, numbers of developers are huge. That
Yeah.
will be probably, I would guess, like 70% at least of developers come like located in India. Germany has actually very good, very large development population, and
Hmm.
United States used to, but not anymore. So even though there are quite a few people living in good old United States, developer communities kind of has been dwindling. Yeah, other countries honestly are just there, I guess, to fill in top 10
Yeah.
numbers. Yeah, they're not really serious. So, but
Yeah.
again, top three, zero surprise there. That's
Yeah.
how it's been.
Okay.
Moving on.
Job roles. This is where we see, I think architects are climbing the ladder still a bit here, right? Like this is a developer insights survey. And the number two and number three position here is architects. You
Why
know what
why
I
are
mean?
you feeling in this survey? I mean, honestly,
I
I think that's what I would propose for the next year. Just have a first qualifying question. Are you even a developer? Because I don't want to gatekeep this, but I want to hear from people who do develop hands-on develop for most of their time.
yeah.
Not like, oh, I'm an architect who dabbles occasionally in like an
I
ABAP. I don't care about you, guy. Like you
I
get your own survey.
I actually kind of think this represents maybe some of the way the winds are shifting around to a little bit. So
Mm,
let me give you an example here. Is that I've been doing interviews with people to sort of come work for, the company that I work at.
mm,
And there's a fair number of people whose most recent job is something something architect
yeah.
and
Yeah,
senior full stack developer or whatever,
yeah,
like that
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah,
Where
slash,
like
yeah,
they're literally their job description, job title includes both architect and
yeah,
developer.
yeah,
So I think that maybe there's also some kind of compression going on too
yeah,
here,
yeah. And
right?
and and I'll allow it. I mean, I don't care about the title because there are many people who have title of architect but actually do many non-architectural things like
Yeah.
enterprise architect. I don't think really belongs here, to be honest, or much less business analyst and all those like data analysts. Like I don't know, like why are you filling in the survey, like, and then we get
4.9
this.
of you are please specify.
Yeah,
So
please
yeah.
specify. So yeah, yeah, very, very strange. So
Yeah.
maybe I think again should be some kind of qualifying questions there, maybe just, and again, not to gatekeep survey from people, but just to get more accurate statistics for
Yeah,
people who do
yeah.
actual development. Because I don't go and fill in like enterprise architect surveys with some kind of nonsense because I'm not not an enterprise architect. So what sense would it
Maybe
make? So
maybe it's time for us to spam other surveys now with
yeah, yeah,
our
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
So message like, so guys, like if you're not a developer, please maybe do not
yeah,
participate in
yeah,
developers insight surveys.
yeah.
So yeah.
This also
All
has a
right.
select all that apply thing too, which I think is just
Yeah,
got this like
yeah,
we're gonna get a smorgasbord here.
that's weird. Yeah.
And this is where we see the overlap from this
Mm,
thing here.
mm,
So like essentially, if you wear more than one hat, it
mm.
is it is for sure that one of your hats is developer,
Yeah.
right? In other words, you could be a system administrator and nothing else.
Mm,
But if you are a system administrator and something else, it
mm-hmm.
is almost certain that that something else is developer,
Mm,
right? Same
mm.
for these other circles, right? Because like developer is the circle that touches all other circles
Yeah.
here. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I have to say
Uh,
though, it's very strange collection of hats though, and I know that many times it happens when companies have those job cuts and
yeah,
people are essentially forced
yeah.
into wearing multiple very super duper different hats. I and sometimes it's okay. I mean, it's nice to learn something else, but too many times I think it just goes a little bit overboard. So I don't know.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily a good thing always.
Yeah. Okay. This one is, I don't know, somehow this is the what are the domains of
Yeah.
your day-to-day work? This is for people who select developers, so that's,
Mm,
good. Um, you're saying that desktop front-end development still shows up 50% of the time. I don't
mm.
even know what that means anymore. Like I'd
Desktop.
be
Yeah.
yeah, that's like I
Mm.
like maybe there's just this like ocean of people that I don't know still exist who are maintaining these desktop apps. Right? Because like,
Yeah,
oh,
but still
actually, maybe
strangely. Yeah,
there's
I'm
no
looking. If I
web.
was, yeah, if I was Fiori developer, where would I put myself? It's
Yeah,
very
there's no
strange
web
again
here. Yeah,
phrasing. Yeah,
this
I
is
don't
not.
think they meant. So they probably meant desktop as opposed to
Mobile.
dedicated mobile.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's what it
interesting.
because
Okay.
it's very strange
Okay.
designation. Should said like front end, but like non-mobile or something.
Yeah. This.
DevOps engineering. I don't know. Maybe SAP employees who which
Yeah. Curious about
developers
that.
do some things there?
Curious
It's
about
like
that.
I have no idea.
Very
Like
curious. Have you developed integrations or extensions for any SAP products or technologies in the past 12 months?
I'm not
Um,
sure.
yeah.
Please teach me.
I don't,
I don't
I'm
know.
still, I am even a tiny bit confused here because like, I'm not sure how to read, like, you could construct an argument that this includes RICEF work or does not include RICEF work,
Yeah,
right? Because you could interpret develop an integration for SAP products to mean that you are working on a product that integrates with SAP,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
In which case, that's not true for many RICEF type people, right?
yeah,
Or you could be saying, oh, this means that I'm going into CPI and like mapping fields to other fields
yeah,
in a
yeah.
flow,
What
right?
exactly is
Yeah,
integration? Yeah,
it's just it could be taken to mean a few different ways. Same with
yeah,
extensions, right? Is this are you Vistex or are you like Joe Blow, making a little batting implementation in
yeah,
your SAP system, right?
yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, again, it's very SAP centric
Yeah,
language. It's like is the question basically have you done anything with SAP? But again, that should be the first question, like where are you
yeah,
in this survey? If you like and this I'm not sure 8%. I guess they were probably not sure how to interpret the question,
yeah,
not sure what they're doing in their
yeah.
daily life. So
But if
I
you're
would yeah,
yeah, if
yeah.
your answer is no, then I'm like,
Like,
then
why
I'm
are you
really kind of
here?
like,
And
why are you
I
here?
don't get it. What are
Yeah,
you? Well, it's probably DevOps engineering. Then that's
yeah.
what they do.
Okay. Popular programming languages. Big no surprise here, right? ABAP, of course,
Yeah.
tops the list. JavaScript or TypeScript is
Where
number
is
two.
UI5? Like, not even
That
here.
UI5 I would count in the JavaScript or TypeScript bucket.
JavaScript. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Um, the yeah. This also too is this is also one of these ones where using it in your development work
Yeah.
like is an interesting question because does that mean that you have pushed something to production that uses
Yeah.
that? So, for
Yeah.
example, Python is 21% here, but like I somehow doubt that 21% of the respondents like built a production application which
Yeah.
included Python as the runtime for the production thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
rather than some part of the upfront development process included
Yeah.
wrangling Python in some way, you know?
Yeah. And there was percentage of like business analysts and data related
Yeah,
professions. That's kind of no brainer answer for them. I'm not sure what it really means in terms of SAP developer survey though.
yeah,
I mean, what does it tell you? It's really kind of one of the things developers like to do. It's like measuring our, worth somehow in how many languages everyone knows. That's what developers love to do.
oh,
Anytime
yeah,
you start this kind of survey, anywhere people come out of woodworks to claim, oh, I know like this
yeah, yeah,
language
yeah.
and that and blah. So it's some kind of, I don't know, kind of peacocking behavior. So I don't think this question honestly makes any sense other
Hmm.
than maybe see how far ABAP falls down the list, and ABAP still going strong. So you go, guys. ABAP still
I'm gonna flip to
dominates the
this
landscape.
question
Oh yeah.
on this one. Just see. Yeah,
Oh,
here we
there you
go. Here
go.
it is.
80%. So it's even
Yeah.
gone up.
So
So
we saw a slight
good for
uptick.
us.
Yeah.
Good for
A
us.
very slight uptick there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Frameworks, UI5 and Fiori elements, of
Yeah.
course, at the top. I mean, for the front
Yeah.
ends, like, I mean, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Um, I think this even front ends, UI5 and Fiori elements were,
Mm.
again, of course, near the top there.
Top. Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't be surprised to see elements overtake UI5 eventually. Somebody was telling me this, and I think it kind of made sense. If you have like a giant pile of requirements for something that includes a front end,
Mm.
and you have, let's say you have 100 of them,
Yeah.
90 of them are going to fit into elements with no
Yeah.
extension
For sure.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Nine of them are going to fit into elements plus the like extension framework that's in elements,
Mm. Mm.
and one of them will be like a freestyle UI5
Yeah.
app.
Yeah.
That's I don't know whether that's exactly right, but it feels right
Yeah.
for like what a lot of things happen
Yeah.
these days in app
Definitely.
dev.
Yeah.
Backends, this is I'm not sure exactly what SAP BT means as a standalone answer here. Unless that's just a typo on
Maybe
the
for like integrations with
I actually
developers.
I
I
think this
I don't
actually is
know.
a
Yeah.
this. I bet you this is actually a mistake of some kind. Because look at
Yeah.
I think this ABAP environment is actually the BTP ABAP environment,
Yeah.
and it's the same exact percentage as the other one.
Yeah.
I bet this is just a
It's
typo of
weird.
some kind.
I don't
So
know. But
I bet you it's ABAP on S4 68%, BTP ABAP 54, ECC ABAP 47, and then down the line from there. I bet you
could
that's what
be.
they're. So this is I made a note of this last year, and I just want to say this again too. Is like I am very curious about the BTP ABAP environment
Mm.
and what people are getting up to there.
Mm.
Because like clearly it's taken off and it's popular, gaining popularity in and has a set of popularity in the world. What is what are people doing there?
Yeah.
Is that vast majority of that stuff just I want to do
So
side by side, but ABAP is still my comfort zone language? Is that the
so
majority of BTP ABAP environment
so
usage?
how did they phrase the language again? What does this question say? Oh, it's just so it has worked with. So ABAP trial, I think, is available on ABAP BTP environment. So if someone is doing like just purely experimentation
Oh, that
for
could
their
okay.
personal like learning, that would be, or preparing for certification, that I think may be ABAP environment. Because if you
Mm,
ask like productive use, could have been different answer. I don't know.
yeah, that's true.
Because yeah, because I would probably pick like three of them at least, even though for
Mm,
productive use that would be two out of three. So
yeah,
yeah, that's just my speculation.
interesting.
Yeah, or maybe some people didn't really understand what ABAP environment actually is here.
Mm,
That is an option as well. They maybe say, "Oh, I do ABAP like boom, boom, boom." Yeah, that's what I use. So might as
yeah,
well be just incorrect because it does seem even with like trial use kind of suspiciously large percentage. I think I don't know.
yeah. I mean, because there are definitely people who are using it for realsies too.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that
for
that's
sure.
and that's and that's what I want to know is like what.
Yeah, like
And
public
I'm not
cloud. Yeah.
and I'm not saying you're dumb for using it.
Yeah,
I'm saying I want to know. I want to
yeah,
understand
yeah,
what you're using it for
yeah,
as
yeah, for
as like a
sure.
side by side environment.
Yeah.
I-
Well,
I-
maybe
I-
that should be a question,
yeah,
honestly. But like, what do you do with ABAP environment?
yeah, yeah,
It's actually, I think full name is like ABAP BTP environment or something. So I
yeah.
don't
No,
know
that's
why
why
they,
that's why
why it's
that's
like,
why I think this is just a
yeah,
typo in the
that's
thing.
something, yeah,
I
something
think
does not,
this. I
does
think
not fit.
54% is the SAP BTP ABAP
Yeah.
environment is
Yep.
what that is.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so extension architectures for the most recent extension project. What was the principal runtime architecture of the backend elements? On stack, side by side cap, BPA. ABAP as a language still obviously dominates this too
Yeah.
in terms of this like extension project. So this does kind of slice a little bit closer to like a real thing that went to production in some sense
Mm.
versus just did you work with it at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
in which case OnStack is, yeah. ABAP is still the winner. Cap on Cloud Foundry comes in at 20%. Yeah, okay. And then there's still some old school XS hanging out here,
That's
which
that's
I
just
can
weird. I don't
I
know.
I think that's just a vestige of like I think people were excited about that framework back when, and it's just had a slow death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That there's
Yeah.
still things out there to maintain.
Yeah.
Okay, and so in this case, when we're talking about side by side, now SAP is saying it looks like CAP is growing as compared to ABAP as the side by side environment option,
Well,
which
I mean, it's convenient comparison because they're comparing like side by side cap with ABAP. Yeah, I mean that's probably valid, but how many even do like side by side altogether? I think if you take like overall extensibility, then side by side is like not the majority of that probably to begin with. And then within that,
if
if you do that side by side route, then yeah, then it kind of becomes a toss between ABAP environment, whatever CAP can do. Yeah, this is where I think ABAP will concede maybe eventually for reasons that have nothing
yeah.
to do with ABAP development,
Yeah,
maybe.
no, I like
Yeah,
I agree. I think so if we look at this chart, it's like
yeah,
taking the two side by side pieces here
yeah,
together.
yeah,
That's about the same as the on stack,
yeah,
right? Within a few
okay,
percentage
yeah,
points, right? Um, and I think what SAP is saying here is that like CAP has now almost eclipsed ABAP as the side by side approach
yeah,
when you do that, which
yeah,
also kind of makes sense to me, at least in terms of when I think about like this gets to my curiosity question about like side by side ABAP. Like I want to know
mm,
what are you doing side by side ABAP? I'm just
yeah,
curious.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you start doing side by side stuff, that's where ABAP it's gonna start losing appeal very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the ABAP variance questions that we saw this last year too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they did offer like one more question.
Mm,
Last year they didn't have this both answer
yeah,
here.
yeah,
They just had standard versus cloud.
yeah,
But we still have this number of people who are like, wait, what is the difference? Which like is funny, but also like I can't blame them for saying that because
yeah,
like like if you are a sort of a traditional kind of ABAP person, like you would probably ask, well, what is the difference here?
yeah, yeah.
So I can see that. Okay, IDEs.
Mm,
This is an interesting one because I think we're going to see some, even this year is going to start to do some changes too, right? Because Eclipse, yep, Eclipse and look at this. Eclipse with ADT and SAP
what
GUI
the
are
heck?
tied. Yeah. Now I think maybe this Eclipse probably encompasses a few of these other use cases that are not SAP ABAP development stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because we
yeah,
have these
could
other
be.
people showing up
Yeah,
in this thing. So
yeah,
that this could like fudge a little bit downward if we're talking about like, are you doing on stack development
yeah,
in
yeah,
ADT?
yeah.
But I mean SAP GUI, the like coming in
The
strong.
the king of one stack. Yeah.
I do think Business Application Studio is picking up speed a little bit, or
Mm,
picking up numbers, I should say. I
yeah.
don't know about speed. But the people I talk to now, they are generally they're at least aware, if not using BAS, if they can.
Mm,
So that makes sense. VS Code, I think, is the one that's going to change quite a bit.
Mm,
I mean,
mm,
there's already been if you're on a little bit on the leading edge of things, you have already been aware that you could do many things in VS Code. Um, Maybe not everyone is kind of their cup of tea, but SAP is also leaning into this themselves too.
yeah.
So that's gonna change.
And they have released finally ABAP on VS Code and
Yeah,
even patched some stuff already.
even
So
made a patch. Yeah,
some developments are happening there.
yeah. This BTP guidance framework,
Was a weird
they're
one.
testing the
Yeah.
awareness and use of this framework.
Yeah.
I have to say, because I don't think I've finished this survey. I don't think I got to this question because I was like
Mm.
you. I was like, when am I going to be done? I have to go to pick up
Yeah.
my daughter,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I think I would have said either. I think I've seen it mentioned, so I would have fallen in this bucket. In
Mm-hmm.
that I've seen it mentioned, but I've never looked at this document in my
Yeah.
life. You
Yeah.
know.
I know something like that exists, but then again, to be honest, I'm not really sure if I know what they're asking about because like the whole framework, I think there are some like documents somewhere, but I don't know, or like is it
It's
something I should?
it it's very interesting to me that there is an entire question devoted to have you seen this document?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's just kind of weird a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was super confused. Like, what are you fishing for? Like, what statistics are you looking for? I mean, even ECC systems are hosted in cloud. Technically, you go
Often,
to
yeah.
Open ChatGPT, you use cloud provider.
Yeah.
So that's very broad, strangely broad question, I think. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. Like, oh, on there is okay. So they're looking for like what's the role of BTP between AWS and Google. I mean,
Yeah.
it's SAP world,
It's
so
it's a
duh.
mixed up bunch here. Yeah, like this because
But
this is
again,
like
yeah,
under the covers of BTP is one
yeah,
of these other ones here too.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like
But again, yeah, like BTP is not like Google. So I honestly,
yeah.
I don't know if it's even comparable. So, whatever. Yeah. For, well, this for SAP
I'm
projects,
I mean
100%.
I'm
For
shocked. I'm shocked that there is
11% for
11%.
non-SAP
What are
projects.
you doing in BTP that's not SAP
Well,
stuff?
maybe, I mean, that 11% also fits into 100% for sure. No one in the right mind would just take BTP and like with no SAP use case whatsoever start using it for some other stuff. That would make like zero sense
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's honestly it's like, oh yeah, like 11% also used it for I don't
Yeah.
know, for something else. And honestly, those non-SAP projects, maybe it's like it originates outside of SAP, but I bet it integrates or like communicates in some way with SAP
Mm.
because otherwise, why? Why?
Otherwise, what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah,
I admit less interested in the Azure,
yeah,
AWS, GCP
same.
questions. That's just
And
a
Alibaba Cloud,
infrastructure question for me. Yeah.
why? Like, who cares? Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't understand why this is even a question for developers.
I guess I'm not sure why they say vendor A, B, and X here.
I do not, yeah.
Is it just so you don't name your competitors, or I don't know what this is.
No idea
But
whatsoever.
I mean, but even okay, taking out the whatever that means,
Yeah.
like you can see there's growth in build SAP build here, right? Maybe not
Mm,
huge, but there's growth.
yeah. I mean, what is SAP build low code even? Like SAP build is nothing. It's like name for a bunch of products. So like what exactly does it mean? And to be honest, I think low code is gonna kind of slide into obscurity maybe because it's been very quickly surpassed by solutions that like Gen AI stuff or any AI related stuff where it's kind of like WebDyn Pro, I think. It's like it's in
Mm.
the middle. It's kind of filling the gap for a very short period, and it's better probably to do away with it than keep dragging this into when gap is already closed. So now it just sits there and needs to be maintained. So I don't know. It's
Oh yeah, okay, okay. So this is okay.
yeah,
So I see this now too. I missed this. There is no I'm unfamiliar with this product, right?
yeah,
So you
yeah,
could have relative growth in the proportions
yeah,
while at the same time having reduced overall usage of it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just not really a thing that is super relevant.
Learning and stuff.
I'm honestly slightly surprised that people still rank highly developer community websites and forums. Maybe it's like non-SAP communities, those sites like more like Stack Overflow and stuff, because I have to say that realistically, and I don't really, I'm not a person who needs to go and like take a course somewhere. So my learning, it's more like, okay, I'm finding news about something that news that came out or something that, I should try. And honestly, I'm getting those news like almost anywhere else except for SAP community. And sometimes it's like someone posts link on like Blue Sky or LinkedIn,
Hmm.
post a link to SCN blog, and then I go and read it. But it's for me personally, it has dropped a lot from my kind of main resource. I don't know.
I'm curious. I mean, I don't know what the reason is, but they don't have ChatGPT or Claude or whatever teaching you stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Like these days, if I need to learn a new thing, like I will have ChatGPT or Claude teach me about it.
yeah, yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
I'm curious as to why that doesn't show up here. Because it does show up here in the SAP help resources,
Mm,
right? Because here we see the LLM bucket here.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but even to your point too, SAP community still shows up in the top of this one here.
Depends on like what learning means. To me, I would say learning that's like something new or something I didn't know. I still get benefit from old
Answers.
Q&A, for example, when I have specific problem, but that usually would be in the post that is 10 years old. So I'm not sure if it's really kind of learning. It's more like I have a specific problem, I need to solve it right away somehow. So I'm looking for an answer. That's all. I don't necessarily learn anything from that. So yeah, and it also when you have to pick three answers and don't rank them, then it's more like a Venn diagram rather than correctly kind of percentage
Yeah.
wise rank choice. If it was pick three, but you need to pick like your top one, two, and three, that probably would have been more accurate.
Just curious about this SAP community.
Mm,
SAP community is 51% this year, 26% last year.
mm,
Curious or incurious, or probably an artifact of data, I'm sure, or a selection of the
yeah,
respondents there. Um, this is another kind of this to me this is somewhat similar to the question about the
yeah,
BTP guidance document. The
yeah,
like, have you seen this thing?
yeah,
Are you aware of this thing?
yeah.
So I think there's just some, uh, uh, evangelism they're measuring here too somehow with
So
this.
yeah,
Yeah,
survey designed by committee.
yeah. Technical certifications within the past 4 years. Okay.
Hmm.
Boy, there are people out there just cranking these
Yeah,
certs out.
just like with like
Man, oh man.
some people have no life
I
or serious
or I
addictions.
think I also think I think if you once you've done a couple of them, you probably get the picture of how to do that.
Yeah.
I bet you some people can like sit down and crank out like a
Oh
cert
yeah.
on a
Yeah.
Saturday and get the whole
Yeah.
thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm proudly sitting in the non box there, so
Yeah.
that's me.
I don't
But
think I've ever done an SCP certification of any kind.
I don't
Yeah.
plan to like ever. It's too late.
Um, of these, how many were from SAP?
Hmm. Yeah.
SAPs
Yeah.
are among the most aware. Well, that means that makes sense if you're gonna go
Yeah.
for it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay. So that's the end of the survey here. Um, I think my one of my overall thoughts is that boy, I wish there was some more like use case gathering for certain things.
Hmm.
Like I mean, I know I've just beaten this horse. It's died 5 times over now, right? But like for people who are using the BTP flavor of ABAP, like
Hmm.
I'm just curious what you're doing. I really want to know what you're
Yeah.
doing. with
Yeah.
that
So
stuff. Yeah.
share in the comments so
Yeah.
that if you check that box, please let us
Yeah.
know what are you even doing with it?
Any
Humanity
other
wants
any
to
other
know.
thoughts, Yelena, from yourself on this overall
Yeah,
stuff?
just my kind of small wish list for next year. So first, let's maybe kind of make it more developer centric
Mm,
because all those architect and whomever random people kind of polluting the stats. That's
mm.
not really useful, I think, to anyone, to SAP or like random people trying to see what's going on in community. I would also be. I'm not sure if there is like a last question, like any comment that you want to share or anything. I would be actually interested in that because this is very much what SAP wants to ask from you, what SAP wants to know,
Mm.
but not like what's really going on in minds and hearts of SAP developers
Yeah.
or in community. I would be curious, and I know it opens to all kinds of stupid stuff, but you can easily, I think, use AI tools to cut down the noise and get meaningful replies. So
Yeah.
maybe have like a random comment somewhere at the end because it's very easy these days to interpret those even random text answers and
Hmm.
group them and
Yeah.
analyze. That is actually where some interesting stuff comes out. Or if that response is essentially stupid, well, that is also an indication of level of people filling in the survey.
Yeah.
And also just maybe like tighten the survey. It was way too long, way too detailed this year. Just make it be cognizant of people time, and
Yeah.
just give them some kind of preview of how far along are they and how long it's going to take the whole thing. So yeah, that's I hopefully my reasonable wish list.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing for us, me and you to take out of this too is that like given the likely proportion of people who responded to this
Yeah,
versus the total population is that like
yeah,
we we probably care about this way out of proportion to what the
yeah.
rest of the people care about this. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. All right. So thank you everyone for watching. And yeah, if again, if you have any comments on the survey, if you have any wish list for the next year as
Yeah.
well, and especially if you're doing anything with ABAP BCP
Yeah.
environments, really, really, guys, drop us a comment. We would love
Yeah.
to hear from you, and you
Please.
you you might get a mention in the next newsletter or another episode. So always love to hear from our readers and listeners and just random passersby as well. Awesome. All right. So thank you so much. And thank you, Paul, for today's conversation. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye guys.